Another thing as part of this process is that each one of those buying influences has what we call a mode that they deal with. And in the insurance business, financial services business, we're very good at creating sense of urgency of people. So the first mode is called the trouble mode. So here's a situation where a person thinks they're here, and through discovery, through their own education, through you helping to educate them, they're actually down here. So they're saying, you know, before you showed up and started to talk about these issues with me, I thought life was good, but I'm really concerned now. I see that I have something that I need to fix. I need to fix this or avoid this from happening. Because people buy only for 3 reasons. They want to fix, avoid, or accomplish. Anybody give me another word? You say, I've got a situation, it's broke, I got to fix it. I'm trying to grow my organization and attract and retain people, I'm trying to accomplish this. And, or they say, you know, with these new tax law changes and high income taxes and so forth, I'm trying to avoid having this estate tax issue and so forth. So they want to, and what we say to our people when we have this as common language, what are they trying to fix, accomplish, or avoid? So here, they're in a trouble mode. So they're basically saying, look, I've got this issue I've got to deal with. And now there's a sense of urgency. You know, I've got $300,000 of gains. You've been talking to me about a qualified pension plan. I know I've got a deadline of January 1st. You come in with a solution that could fix this and bring me back of saving those taxes and so forth. You want people in trouble modes. So you look at your economic buyer. If you can get an economic buyer in a trouble mode, you're on your way. And this goes back to, I think, your point about, you know, they don't see, they can't identify what the issue is. They don't see it as clear as you. You really need to spend time in and around this in what we call win results. Because it's very easy to come up with a result. I mean, it's, you know, you have a situation, you have a 401k plan. I looked at all the managers. I looked at what you're spending for administration. I looked at how I can clean this plan up, and I can save your firm $800,000 a year. Like, here's the pen, why don't we sign up for it? $800,000 a year. So you take a look at all the buying influences back here. Why wouldn't they sign up with those results? Why wouldn't they buy if I can show them an $800,000 savings? What's been your experience?
They don't believe you.
They don't, credibility. They don't believe that you can deliver those results. So that's all part of the sales process.
Compliance issues.
Yeah.
Be comfortable with.
Yeah, and that means that compliance issues, a user buyer said, that's great, but I'm the person that's going to be responsible for all of this. You know, life is good in my department. The $800,000 is not going in my pocket. This is, you know, it's great. So I'm not going to go to the table and say, I don't want to do this, I want to do this. I go, you know, I'm really concerned with the compliance issues that you guys may have. No, we got this. I'm hesitant about putting this in and so forth, and it's not real. It's not real because he or she does not have a win in the situation. Let me give you a real example from one of our workshops that you can relate to. We had a guy that came in and said, I've got a situation, payroll deduction disability program. I'm going to make $800,000 of commissions on this deal. My economic buyer is the director of human resources. She has a budget for this. She is a user buyer. She wants this to happen. My coach is the general counsel who's uninsurable. He's a friend of mine, and I sold this program in a previous company, but he never took it with them. He wants disability insurance. He needs this disability policy personally and wants it. He's been my coach, pushing me through. He got me in touch with the HR director. He's convinced her that this is something. They brought in the chief financial officer, who's a technical buyer and a user buyer, who also now likes the program and wants the program. So he's identified all of the buying influences in this sale. Who gets involved as, if you're thinking through putting in a payroll deduction plan in a company, who else would get involved in that? Say that again?
Payroll manager?
Payroll manager. The payroll manager. You go, the payroll manager, all we need to do is get a payroll slot. She's a technical buyer in this case. You know what she says? She goes, look, we're working on a major accounting system to implement, and it's got to be kicked off in the fall. She went to the CEO of the company and said, look, do you want me to continue to work on the payroll adoption, or do you want me to stop doing that to put the disability program in? What do you think he said? He didn't say stop doing the accounting system. Why can't these guys pay with a credit card or write their own checks? Why do we have to get involved? We don't have a payroll slot. Yeah, we don't need this. So we came back to strategy. We go, you got a big red flag there. You've got a technical buyer who's potentially a user buyer who's not been identified that's got a real issue. You've got results to show this company because putting this plan in is a good plan, but you don't have a win for her. She's got to win somehow. So how can we create so what would you do? What would you do in this situation? Knowing the facts so far, what would you do? Don't say go look for a new prospect. Yeah.
I guess the first thing you might want to do is break down exactly what her responsibility and time commitments would be. Sometimes the greatest enemy is thinking that this is a huge elephant, that they've got to be one or the other, and it may be that it can be easily integrated.
Right. So now what we're talking here about strategy, right? Now we're thinking out of the box a little bit. We're saying, what are the possible actions that we could take? So let's break down the time commitment here. Anybody else? Just give up on it?
Put her on the payroll.
I'm sorry?
Put her on the payroll.
Put her on the payroll? Yeah, she's already eligible for this, but she won't take the time with her. You've never had people with negative attitudes in companies, I'm sure. Get her fired. No, that's not good.
Educate her about the importance of the product as it impacts everybody else, including her.
Yeah, so that's another possible strategy is try to figure out maybe can she use the product? Does she know the importance of the product? Can we put it on? Let me give you the strategy that they took. Went to the coach and said, look, this is the importance of a coach. Go to the coach and say, look, I've got an issue here. They won't move off the dime. And this is the same thing you folks in the estate planning deal, we got the high net worth individual that won't move. You got the other advisors. You got to strategize, right? So I went to the coach and said to the coach, look, you know how important this is, obviously, to yourself and so forth. She won't move off. To Bill's point, look, this is not a big time commitment. All it takes is a slot. Help me. How can we strategize? He suggested, okay, she reports to the CFO, who also wants this program. Let me, the coach, go talk to the CFO. And I will talk to him about the importance and what her concerns are. I'll bring your information about the time commitment and so forth. So the CFO sat down with her and said, look, I know you're really bogged down with this situation. I will get you whatever resources you need to help put this in, whatever time it takes and so forth. And this is a big deal for me. And, Bob down there in legal, he really needs this. And this is going to help our whole, human resource issues and so forth. So if you could, take the time to do it, and again, I'll get you the resource if you need it. So she goes, no, I'm fine. I can do it. She went, did it. Her win was personal recognition to her boss, because now she's a player. She got it done. But that took some work to go to the coach. If you didn't have the coach and you didn't have what everyone's win in the situation was, it's a very, very difficult strategy to deal with.